Hello, I'm Philip Stoten. I'm here at Apex 2016 and I'm joined by Jeff Timms from ASM. Jeff, great to see you.
Good to see you too, Phil.
Last time I saw you, we were in Munich and there was a lot going on. I guess
Absolutely.
one of your main jobs here is to bring that to the American market. How's that been?
No question. Well, you know, this is, I think, my 32nd year, I hate to admit, in this industry. But in all those years, I've never seen so much innovation brought to market in a single year. And I think it really comes back to the driving pillars of innovation that become the backbone for everything we do as a company. So it's removing manual labor from the factory floor. It's minimizing any manual interventions.
Yeah.
It's improving robustness of systems. It's improving feedback loops. It's having software that all of a sudden is no longer intended to just control things, but monitor and take action with self-correction.
Yeah.
And this is really taking it to a new level.
Yeah, and it resonates with what people are talking about at the moment with SmartFactory and
Sure.
Industry 4.0, IOM, whatever the term they're using is. Of the stuff that you were seeing yourself at Productronica, what were you excited about bringing specifically to the US market and the Americas market generally, because you've got a lot going on in Mexico too?
You know, I think the single biggest innovation that I'm really excited about here is the implementation and the integration of SPI with a smart expert system and a total machine controlling feedback loop.
Yeah.
You know, if you go back through history and you look at all of the $1 million plus assembly lines that have been sold into manufacturers around North and South America, around the world for that matter, virtually every one of those the performance of every one of those lines depended on somebody with a feel for setting up the solder paste, setting up the screen printer. And at the end of the day, it's ludicrous to think you're in the high-tech industry, in this high-tech industry, and all of a sudden you have to have somebody with a feel for something because they have that touch to make the quality levels work correctly.
Yeah.
So we looked at this and we said, you know, it doesn't make any sense for us to continue down that path. If you look at food and beverage or some of the chemical industries, anything falls out of a process window, even a fraction of a percent, it's self-adjusted.
Yeah.
And it happens without anybody knowing it. That's where we are with this whole process lens and process expert. And that to me is really exciting.
Yeah.
Take the guesswork out of it.
Yeah, and what's also interesting about that is that's a real life application that relates to your recent acquisition of the deck business, so you're connecting between the printer and the placement machine. Are you seeing more and more demand for those connections, not just there, but also further down the line? We hear lots about making the reflow oven smarter, those kind of things. Is that something that's in demand?
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
Whether it's in demand in a large way today or not, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Because as you work down from beginning to end in the line, one thing leads to another, and everybody's always looking for that elusive manufacturing edge, right? And it doesn't come by throwing people at it anymore. It comes by another layer of automation, another layer of intelligence, self-decision-making machines.
Yeah, no, that's the key, isn't it? It's those closed feedback loops, those what we're calling cyber-physical systems that are really going to benefit.
Yes.
And just briefly, the Mexican market, you've been number one there for a while. How's that market going? Is it still growing? I spoke to a couple of companies today.
Yeah, I believe it is. Especially with the exchange rate the way it is. Actually, two markets were really big for us last year. One was Canada and one was Mexico.
Okay.
And if you look at the exchange rate fluctuation over the last 18 months, that has quite a bit to do with it. If you look at the conversion cost between the U.S. manufacturer and what they can do in Mexico, it makes a lot of sense to move there.
Yeah, okay. And that's great for the volume stuff. What's going on in Canada? Is that kind of high tech or?
There is a lot of high tech manufacturing in Canada. It's a little lower volume, but tremendous amount of automotive. Anything with really stringent safety requirements, really stringent process control requirements. It's a good place for it.
Yeah.
A lot of great engineers that have been doing this a long time. They really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And you can trust the output of those factories.
Yeah, and there's some creativity there, I guess,
You
some
bet.
new startups, that kind of thing.
You bet.
Well, exciting stuff on the booth, Jeff. I hope you have a great show, and thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Phil.